Get to the moon, man, but it's sad, man. She's all alone on the moon. We go to space, it's Trigger! But it's all sad. It's Triggerness, but it's sadness, man. What? Not my Becca! No! Not Becca! No! No! That's the best guy I don't care about, Lucy! You can't kill my Rebecca, man! No! Oh my god, no! He lands on Rebecca! No, my god, Rebecca dies! My god, she was like a girl and he lands on her! And then he also died, I guess. Falco, maybe. He loses to Arbalist. But man, he lands on Rebecca. Oh my god, no! That he smashed too hard, man! Kiwi gets a cool ride, but I don't understand what she's gonna help him again for. It like makes no sense to Kiwi fell for this. Yeah, she's like, I'm the super traitor. Why did she even go back there? It makes no sense for that, man. This is good now. No, she's like, I'm betraying you. I'm gonna blame you for this. Oh, she can use Spider-Man away now. I guess she can use Spider-Man down there. Okay, sure. I guess that's what you can do. You can use the web sling her away. Why she never did before that? You're gonna have like a weird anime battle where they're both super speeded. Yeah, they need to have some weird shit going on, man. It's an entertaining anime to watch. The whole is entertaining, right? You definitely, you know, you're always like, you're attentive to it. Something's happening. It's very explosive, right? It's very, very, very subtense over matter. It really is Trigger, honestly. I feel it's been Trigger's curse for the last years. How they have these crystal storylines and it's just pang, pang, pang action, right? And most of the characters are kind of like dislikable or you don't care about them. And they have a few like zerotwo that you like, yeah. But I think that this anime though, in that sense, even though the Cyberpunk world works for this stuff, it definitely is less crazy than how it is, right? Yeah. I mean, this is probably the most sane anime I watched for Studio Trigger, right? This is the least over the top. This is the least over the top anime I've ever seen for Trigger. You know, and that says a lot because this anime is over the top, right? But it's not Trigger over the top. Trigger is so much more over the top usually, right? And I think it honestly hurt the anime a little bit, right? Because they don't really dwell so much on the characterization or the personalities, right? They just kind of have pang pang action, here's some weird bloops, and then, yeah, and keep going, right? Because it is a very like shallow anime, if there's a good word for it. But I feel it's shallow anime, yeah, because it's quite a shallow anime. You know, Trigger's normal animes are way more crazy, right? And I feel them being shallow is a lesser issue because they're so crazy, right? So hello everyone, for the final review, right? Brother Sword of Cyberpunk, the whole season, right? So we're gonna watch 9 and 10 here, then we're gonna review all of them, right? So, what can I say? This is gonna be a longer video, I feel a little longer than last, but I have reviewed, of course, every episode up to this point, right? But I feel this video here is the last video, right? We're gonna like review the whole thing together as well, right? But let's first watch and do some of the, you know, the highlights or whatever. And then we go into like, you know, the actual, like, the meat of the whole story, right? So if you like that video, please subscribe, slap us on, right? And yeah, let's start watching it. Yeah, but he's like, stupid, I want the money. Yeah, I guess he's like, yeah, we can use her against them or something. I guess that's his plan. But now Kiwi's so cold, man. So now she's like, yeah, interrogating her best friend, right? Like, yeah, this bitch, you know? And then the next day she's like, hey, boyfriend, oh yeah, you see Lucy? Nice, it's great. Yeah, she's just... Yeah, she's clearly like, this has to be the evening before the mission with David, right? Man, Kiwi is cold-hearted, man. Kiwi's, those bloops, man, yeah. Her heart is blue, too. She's like, never trust a soul! Oh, a horrible person, Kiwi. Never trust anyone. Kiwi's just like, that's right, I betrayed you. Counting on you too, Kiwi. Sure, yeah. You can trust me, guys. Oh god, she looks so evil, man. She's like, yeah, I'm part of this thing. Business, guys, yeah, business, man. Big, muscular guys. The trigger guys. Trigger happy guys. Yeah, they're shooting at them. This could be happening every day, man. In this city, man. Yeah, I feel like it happens all the time, man. They have this weird. I think this just happens to them. They're like driving, they're like, oh, another weird people with cars outside, yeah. These car guys are like, oh, another cycle cars. They're like, ugh, this thing again, every week, man. Yeah, I think this happens to them every time they drive, right? They're like, ugh. Jacket, so cover all my shit happening underneath. Yeah, it used to be like, I have my mom's jacket because, you know, I remember mommy, right? And now it's more like, no, I am constantly in, you know, severe, yeah, I got all this stuff under. Harpoon, baby! What's gonna happen? You got a harpoon? He's gonna, I guess, grab it, with his speed, right? Yeah, give me the harpoon! Yeah, I guess he's gonna run around and grab it during the harpoon flight or something. She's the fan, man. She's the fan this episode. Yeah, I know the truck is flying here. Maybe this strategy works. I don't know, but yeah, Of course, it's very, very lucky, of course. It's like, no, it wasn't lucky. Shit, okay. I was wrong, man. No, he wasn't lucky. He actually did still fell down there. But it looked like it fell on the first floor, though. Purpose. Yeah, I'm still hacking it. It takes like 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm not betraying you guys. It feels like Kiwi's, you know, you can't trust that she's just like, oh yeah, I'm hacking it. I'm doing my fastest here, guys. It feels very obviously like, oh, she's probably ready to, you know, betray them, right? Hey, what? So there's even more cards. Is it Militech then? Is it the other one? Yeah, it was, yeah. Exactly. The next battalion is coming. The Militech is coming. Yeah, it's like, what's happening? No, the Militech is coming. Do it, boy. He might figure out that she's being controlled, though, if he thinks about it for a second, but it's so weird. Why would she call and be like, put on the skeleton, boy? Why would she just call? How does she even know she's there? You know what I mean? It's so obviously a trap, man. Yeah, it's like, how would she even know that? Like, Rebecca is like, clearly it's a trap, right? Yeah, Rebecca is like, clearly it's a trap. Yeah, she's like, why does everyone listen to me for Rebecca? She's not like, no one ever listens to me. She has all the right answers. Every time Rebecca is like on the money, man. They never care about what she says, man. Yeah, that hag. I said earlier, but I think Kiwi's old, yeah. She's like, I don't know, she's hard to tell her age, but she's probably old, yeah. That old hag, yeah, but I think she's old, right? Like a guy, she's a massive, sizable. Like, what is he a human anymore at all anymore? He's basically just like a head with, it's just full of mecha now. Yeah, and now he's going, just full of mecha, right? His arms are just, yeah, and he's like gravity field or whatever. But okay, let's go, you seem reliable now, yeah. You see, let's go to hell together, yeah, okay. So, of course, I need to give him a super powerful Uber armor in the final episode. Of course, Kiwi is a goddamn traitor. We didn't know that, but I mean, yeah, the whole episode she's just like, business as usual. Yeah. But, yeah, it was obvious she was going to betray him at the court. It is somewhat predictable, right? Because we already knew she was a traitor, and it was obvious she was going to betray them before she betrayed Lucy as well, right? But and now then, it is clear, I mean, we all know what she's going to, like, trick him into the court, right? I mean, we all know what she's there to set up the skeleton for him, right? So that she's there to help him, or she's obviously lying about the thing, right? And be like, oh yeah, maybe this thing. But it does bug me a little bit that David is still so naive, right? Yeah, he's so fake Lucican. It does bother me that he's so naive, honestly, from a writing standpoint, seriously, right? Because there's one he was naive in episode 1 and 2, right? But now it's been a year or something. At least a few months, right? It's been a while, you know, Main died, he took over, it's been my more cyberpunk. It's been a while now since it started, right? The story, at least like a year or something. And he's still acting basically the exact same person. He has a little bit of too much as, you know, goody two-shoe main character, right? Where everyone he knows basically got killed or whatever, right? So when Lucy calls him, and it's obviously not her calling him, it's so obviously, like, why would she even know that the skeleton is there? She calls him, put on the skeleton, boyfriend! And it's like, oh, sure, yeah, like, why would she even know it? This call, I think, was kind of badly written. Either he's just too naive, but I think the call should be better. I think she should call him and said, oh, I finally got what's happening, guys. Be, oh, we found the skeleton. And then this conversation should be a little more natural, right? For her to tell him, put it on. But instead she just cast it, put it on, like, before she even knew that it existed, right? So he should have immediately figured out if she was being forced or, you know, being hacked or whatever. So, yeah, I think his stupidity is too much, right? It's very typical, you know, stupid main character deluxe, right? A little bit too much, though. Then he has the power armor, though. But let's watch finally. You're saving my girl! Yeah, damsel in distress. I mean, I called it yesterday, yeah. It's like, oh, come on, she's obviously gonna be a damsel in distress, right? It still is the very typical storyline where, you know, his girlfriend lies to him for some reason, and then she gets killed. This anime has a lot of car scenes. There's a lot of car scenes, yeah. It's like, here's another race car scene. He got the knife, no, that was the harpoon button, yeah, the harpoon button. That's a good, yeah. Man, that was brutal. The harpoon got returned. I got the Robot Wars. I got flipped on the cards, man. Ever seen Robot Wars? This is what it is now. I got that flip button, yeah. I got that, like, flipping them over. They're so stupid. It's typical, people. I'm sorry, but they spend too much time in the code, you know. They're like, why is it coming here for? Yeah, why is that taking us for? Like, why would they return to us voluntarily? Yeah, why? We did nothing. Why don't you escape instead for? Like, he obviously got his girlfriend, man. Like, why? And they just can't relate to that. Yeah, they just can't understand. They're like, oh, why would he come to us for? Yeah, I love it, man. They can't grasp the concept of love, right? Yeah, she's like, he's probably gonna kill us. He's probably going for us next. She's like, I think he's really angry at us, right? That's a cool scene, little Kiwi driving here, but yeah. I see about Duster used to really get out. Yeah, I have a Duster on it. So you get that, like, good driving now, though. Yeah, Got like a gigantic cyber weapon, right? Yeah, and Mattis and shit. Yeah, but like his arms are bigger than his whole body, right? Yeah, it's like... he's really turning anime now. This feels so much more anime than previously all those stuff was. Yeah, Becca's house is fun, man, but yeah, his new body is like so anime, man. Mom! Yeah, now it's going crazy here. Kashan! Yeah, I'm going to the Arakasa Tower. Okay, let's go to the top. He's losing completely. No, we are terrible. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top, Mom. We're going to the tower. Yeah. Everything with Becca is best, man. Yes, like, yeah. He's like, yes, the top of the car. It's like, what is that scene? Everything with Rebecca is awesome, man. She's, as I said yesterday, she truly is the pseudo trigger character, right? She's like born to be a trigger character. Just shoot stuff all the time, blast stuff, shotgun, machine guns. Yeah. Another big mecha guy fighting in the final. Yeah, they need to have a final fight, right? So they need to be like, okay, we're bringing in the big one, yeah. He's gonna put it on him. Is that a traitor? Yeah, but it's not me! I mean, like, someone's gonna get blamed for this shit, and then you. And this damn world, man, you are gonna lose your job. It's like, blame Farade. Like, it's like, she's blaming me, so I'm blaming you. Yeah, he's like, well, I'm gonna put the blame on you, man. It's like, now he's like, it's your fault, so now he needs to put the blame on someone else, right? This is very, very authentic cooperation here. Yeah, very, very typical cooperation. Even delivered as that's good for Friday. I delivered what he wanted. Yeah, it's like gravity. Yeah, they didn't say my mom. Man, Adam is a man. There's no honor, man. Yeah, I need to kill the goddamn trauma team, right? It didn't say my mom. And also save. He's also doing it. Now it looks so weird. Now they're both doing this like super speed or something. They have to run around in super speed, both of them. I'm gonna die. It feels like there's gonna be a tragic ending here, right? Only way I could save you, exactly. He didn't say Dory either, or a lot of people died, man. He's like, I didn't say main, yeah, but it's like 20 other people died here. Did that kid he hired die for the bomb, man? A lot of people died. I had an elevator, so what a loser, man. What a loser. Mr. Smasher. He also got an elevator, man. He can't fly after them. He's like, I got a suitable elevator outside the skyscraper for some reason. Did he even have that thing like fitting for himself? That's kind of ridiculous. I don't know how these guys are even alive anymore. I don't know how Rebecca is like, how is she alive? She's just like, hey guys, how are they like, they're surrounded by all these like military guys. They're like, yeah, we're being, you know. Yeah, like how is she still alive? Hey Lucy, it's like, yeah guys. For David's sake, Netherred. Poor Rebecca, she's been Netherred the whole anime. She wants to. No! Not Becca! No! No! That's the best guy I don't care about, Lucy! You can't kill my Rebecca, man! No! Oh my god, no! He lands on Rebecca! No, my god, Rebecca dies! My god, she was like a girl and he lands on her! And then he also died, I guess. Falco, maybe. He loses to Orbilis. But man, he lands on Rebecca. Oh my god, no! That he smashed too hard, man! Oh my god, not my Rebecca! That is so stupid. He rips off the internet or something. It doesn't make any sense how it works, guys! How does that even work? How does it even work? He's hacking him and he's like rips it off like hacking is some kind of magical. He just grabs the like internet wire. The wire relay grabs the Wi-Fi and it's like like it was cables. There's no cables there. It's like he can grab, I don't know. He got technology, so he can grab all the technology. He can grab the Wi-Fi, you know, he can grab the package being sent to someone. No! He told me to save you no matter what, right? No! Stupid love boy. I don't feel this anime is long enough to have like a 3-minute recap of all the scenes with like mom and so on. And yeah, I'm not also not a big fan of them like just showing all the scenes happen. Maybe because I binged it like in like 2 days now, but still, yeah, it feels like it's only 10 episodes long. I don't need like 5 minutes of like what happened last episode, you know? And there's been a lot of recap this episode. Like with the car at the beginning and so on. So they definitely feel a little bit like they probably could have had a better pacing. That's how it ends, I guess. David dying. He just gets shot by him. I think so. I mean, he shot him, but means before he shot him, he told him that he wanted him to, be useful. Never see the moon, man. Moon! It's trigger! We need to go to the moon! We need to go to the moon, baby! Yes! We need to go to the moon. Good. Yes, you got a moon tour. You need to take all the money she made and go to the moon, man. Finally, we got what we wanted. Now the anime. Happy ending, man. Happy ending, man. We go to the moon. We go to the moon, baby. Yeah, we got the moon ending. That's all the things we actually needed, yeah. Going to the moon. His life doesn't matter, man. We go to the moon, man. That's what I'm here for, man. The moon and yeah, I know she's all cray. She sees David all the time, right? So I think she's having cyberpsychosis, or she's just sad. I don't know. This anime, she might just be insane, right? Yeah, maybe she's just sad, but she also might just be mental insane and just actually see him delusional. Yeah, like who knows, right? But it's a sad ending. But I don't know. I feel it was just like it was. You kind of knew he was gonna die, right? It was so clearly built up 6 episodes ago that there was no way he was gonna survive this thing. Where's gonna be this cheesy, like she kissed him and he would regain his mental. Yeah, I felt it kind of got in the corner there. The writing. It was either like he's gonna die, like that's been red-haired forever. Yeah, or that's the end. We didn't get much about until Rebecca died, man. Then I was like, I hate this anime. Yeah, I regret watching it, man. You can't kill my Rebecca, man. Like, you can't kill the best girl, man. You can't just land on the best girl. But yeah, they got this classic, kiss over the moon, right? Let's first review this episode, talking about generally, and then we generally talk about the whole anime, right? So, the last episode, I also did the bad stuff, right? Let's just be honest, it's not the bad stuff here. I like being that. I like being the bad guy, no, but the episode was pretty good, but definitely had a lot of bad pacing, right, the final episode. There was a lot of like, oh, here is David walking, and I understand, he's gonna die, right? So we're building it up, so I have like this sad moment, right? But it felt like the last episode was very, very recappy, right? And, we see a mom like 10 times, right? We see him walking on the street. And then when he's gonna fight Adam, right, the big fighting like thing gonna go on, then we see this like 2-3 minutes of recap of like Maine and Dorio and Keith, whatever. This is all the characters, right? So we see all this other stuff happening, but I don't think it really works well. Straight up, I don't think it didn't work well, right? Because we binged this thing. There's obviously one reason why it was released 2 days ago, right? I watched 3 episodes Mondays, Wednesday, yeah. So we watched all the episodes, right, 10 episodes. In a few days, but it is a binge show. It may be a binging, right? And it's pretty short, only an episode. It's shorter than normal animes, of course, right? Normal animes are like 12, 13 episodes, right? Or even much longer, right? So I don't feel I need this, like, here's the Naruto sad backstory of the QB and his mom or something. But I don't need that in episode 10, you know what I mean? So I don't think that was very good, honestly. I think straight up, that didn't work at all. I just felt that was like because the last episode was a little longer, like maybe 2 minutes longer than a normal episode. But it didn't feel longer, because it was like, 5+ minutes of just recap of pretty episode I watched like yesterday, you know what I mean? I think that's the thing right there, because sometimes you watch something like One Piece or whatever, right? And they have, here's a recap of Vivi, and it's like, I don't need it either, because I don't have to watch Vivi, but at least in One Piece it makes more sense, because you're at episode like 1000, and they're like, hey, let's recap Vivi, episode 128. I mean, they're like, 900 episodes ago we had this Vivi scene. They're like, okay, let's recap that scene, right? At least it makes more sense, right? Here I'm just like, I understand again that it's the sadness of his mom and that whole thing, right? So I'm not saying it's terrible, but it felt a little bit like it's too much of this, in my opinion. Recapping and summary, what happened like previously in the episode or whatever. But anyway, otherwise, yeah, the cool action scenes. They have a lot of cool car scenes, right? And of course, in the end, they end up saving Lucy, and he sacrifices himself, right, to save her. She kisses him. They're flying over the moon, and then she gets to the moon. Right? She gets her dream, actually, right? Yeah, she gets most of the money. Falco and her don't want to lie, right? Because Rebecca died too. So basically, everyone dies, right? Yeah, May in the early Dory died. Everyone dies, right? Kiwi dies, well. So basically, the whole team dies, right? So I guess she's rich now. Yeah, she got a lot of money, right? Yeah, it's only her and Falco surviving, so she got a lot of money, and she can finally go to the moon, all alone, of course. But man, yeah, I mean, the anime was good. The last episode has a cool action scene and so on. I love the scene that she was like, I'm betraying you now. Yeah, no, like the Arakasa, you know, hacker girl, their netrunner, she was like, I'm blaming you for this. Yeah, he's like, what? And he's like, I'm blaming you for Ada. You know, he's blaming each other. And Fran's like, I blame you, Kiwi. Yeah, they just like keep like, you know, basically, right? But there were some scenes I didn't think make much sense. Like Kiwi's death, to me, that felt so bad, honestly. I mean, I wanted her to get revenge on her. But as she went and just got killed by Farada, right? You know, she obviously knew he was gonna betray her. She was like, "Oh, you betrayed me now?" Like it felt like she wasn't even surprised. She was like, "Yeah, he got me. I should have known." It was like, yeah, she was like, "I expected him to betray me, right?" You know what I mean? I really felt that it didn't make much sense that she went there and got shot. But honestly, her scene just felt kind of weird. She's like, she obviously can't trust this guy. Right? She can't trust him, and she herself is a, you know, a she herself is a traitor and so on, con artist girl, whatever, right? She goes there, he betrays her, and then she's just like, you betrayed me. Should have known. Yeah, she was basically like, huh? Oh, god damn it. I got betrayed too. You know what I mean? But it felt like she kind of was like, oh, whatever, I deserve it because I betrayed my best friend today. So she kind of like just took it, you know, but I don't know. I think the scene, I didn't like it, honestly. I didn't like it at all. It's just so stupid, right? It also is so out of character because she keeps saying that, oh, Lucy never trusted anyone, so I was so impressed that she could trust David or something. But then she betrays Lucy, so it's like, but if you care about Lucy and you like she finally trusted someone, why do you betray her then? You know what I mean? Like why are you betraying her then? It's just what? And even ignoring that with Kiwi, right? Kiwi I think was better written, yeah. So even ignoring whatever she felt about Lucy, we never really understand why she betrayed them, except I guess money. But you know what I mean? But it feels like, couldn't she keep working with them and make more money or whatever, right? If it's like, what was it enormously he was giving her in money? He talking about the immunity from the not the cops, but the corporation, perhaps. But like, you know what I mean? It felt weird how Kiwi was like, whatever, I need the money or something, but she didn't need the money, right? She was rich anyway. Yeah, it feels strange. And all that being said, right? Because she talks so much about betrayal and trust and so on. Why does she trust Farada? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It breaks her characterization. She can't be that woman that keeps saying all the time that don't trust anyone, blah blah blah, traitor, I'm a traitor, I'm a traitor, and then she herself goes in and gets betrayed. You know what I mean? Like she's written as a very like paranoid / you know, opportunities, right? And then immediately she gets betrayed. You know, like it doesn't make any sense. Honestly, it doesn't. Like she should never be in a trap. So her death scene, Rebecca death scene was the best one. I mean, worst best because she was owned by him, right? She was always out there shooting shit. Yeah, Rebecca that scene makes the most sense, honestly. Because Rebecca that scene, that was in character, right? She was always like, bam, 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 I'm cray, you know. She was always running around just fighting people, right? And then the ultimate Arakasa fight guy appears and she gets owned by him, right? So that made complete sense, yeah. Rebecca's that scene, that was completely in character because that's how she has been the whole anime, right? This like crazy gunslinger girl that is always getting into trouble, right? So she then, you know, getting, you know, pawned, owned, whatever you call it, right? Smashed by this much better fighter, right? Makes perfect sense. It fits her character, right? Kiwi, I guess, poetically it fits her character. That she gets betrayed and is killed by a traitor because she also was a traitor. So in a poetic way, it fits, right? But from an actual like characterization standpoint, it doesn't make any sense that she would go in and be killed by her own kind of thing because she should never have been to begin with, right? No reason to return to the father. It just made no sense. Was trusted. So I don't like it at all. It was kind of alone on the moon. But what did I feel about the whole anime then? So talk about the whole anime, right? Do a little full review here. All the episodes. Episode 1, I'm gonna talk about it briefly. I'm gonna go like 1, 2, 3, right? But just talking about the general journey and so on. So yeah, in the beginning, of course, David is this random kid, right? And it's like his mom is doing some stuff on the sidelines, so you can pay for him to go to an expensive school, right? And he's a terrible student, and he doesn't really, you know, repay his mother's sacrifice for him, right? And of course, she gets killed by Zangief, yeah. And then she gets killed, right? Like kind of randomly, and it shows you the dystopian of this future, right? And of course, as I said in my first review, yeah, like the episode 1 was powerful, right? Because he's like, no one helped my mom. We didn't have insurance, so she didn't get help from the medical team, and the trauma guys didn't help her. And she's randomly died, right? And I wish they would explain one thing, though, because I have this theory, you call it a loose thread, but I had this theory, right, that the guy lied, you know, to him, right? He just took her body parts. Yeah, because it wasn't really clear why she suddenly died, because she actually survived the car crash, and then she was, like, alive and fucking, like, fine or something, right? And then next day, like, oh, she died. right? It was really weird. Honestly, I'll say it immediately in a full review. I think there were a lot of plot threads, or a lot of hints, I guess, that you, as a viewer and as knowing the game and so on, you can kind of interpret what probably happened. But I wish that the anime would maybe explore some of those threads a little more deeper, right? Because it was very weird how in episode 1 again, right? Yeah, that she was fine, right? But basically fine apparently, for like one day. Suddenly she's dead the next day. And he's like, whatever, we put you in Earth. Yeah, it felt like really weird. I felt that the doctor probably took her body parts, right? But again, I guess I wish those kind of threads would be explained. And I talked about this in my review yesterday, but one thing I didn't like whatsoever with her mom storyline was that he got revenge. Rebecca actually killed those guys, right? That killed his mother, indirectly by hitting her, in the car accident, right? And he didn't have, there was nothing on that. Yeah, I really wish that, because he clearly wanted revenge, right? And in the end, last episode, he's getting revenge against Arakaza, right? Absolutely, coming to the tower, talking about mom, right? Getting there, saving Lucy from them, and all that stuff, right? So that's kind of like revenge against the corporation. And they also killed the trauma guys when they were gonna save Faraday. So then he finally got to the revenge against the medicine trauma team, right? That didn't save his mom because of lack of insurance. So he got that insurance revenge as well, right? But he actually earlier got the revenge, right, of the criminal guys that hurt his mom, but that wasn't addressed. Yeah, I think that was very, very weird. He didn't even like reflect over that or even react when Rebecca basically killed them in front of him. It was very, very weird. Instead, he had that weird moment with that mom. That was the mom of one of his classmates, right? So I think that was very. I think it was strange, especially if that to me also was a very weird episode. Again, here on the mom, right? Because so he kills this, this MILF, right? That is like the mother of his classmate, and that makes him think about his mom, right? But at the same time, Rebecca and he meets the guy that killed his mom. So wouldn't you imagine that would be a good positioning, right, of his mom revenge, right? And how he feels it was wrong killing his classmate's mom, but at the same time he's getting revenge for his mom and so on, right? That would be a more interesting, complicated storyline or whatever, right? Or more intriguing or something. But they did them the same. They had both those storylines in the same episode, but they just kind of didn't go with it. Yeah, I felt it's weird. I felt like it was starting that kind of the mixture of the two different mom things, and that's like whatever, and he's kind of dropped it. I don't know. It was very weird. And then of course in the end he goes back to mom again, right? So I do find that very strange in the whole storyline. That like he kind of had episode 1 was like good episode, set him up for revenge, but then he basically never really thought about it, right? Until the last episode where he killed these people that he kind of indirectly blamed for his mom's death, right? So I felt there was like nothing in between where he was trying to get revenge for his mom. I think that to me was weird. Okay, I of course good he got some revenge at the end there, but it just felt like it was kind of like this checklist, right? He needs to kill some trauma guys for his mom in one episode. So it was strange. It didn't feel very organic. How it felt like he almost forgot about his own mother for like the middle part of this storyline. But anyway, that's episode 1, right? I can set that up. And episode 2, of course, we get Lucy. We get the love interest, right? She gets the moon and so on. And she obviously is 02. I mean, I have it straight away here, right? She's 02, come on. She went in the laboratory, she got the power-ups. And, she was a cool, fancy. She's voiced by one of the best voices, right? Aoyuki. And Minaide! She got, probably the best character. Hottest character, definitely, right? With a lot of cool screen time with her and so on. But, math is negative now. But I like the storyline, generally speaking. And the ending here is good, yeah. The ending of her being all sad on the moon, alone without him, is really good, right? Yeah, she's all like depressed here. She's all like, oh my god, I got to the moon, but for what cost, right? My boyfriend died, so he could get me to the moon, right? And yeah, it's a very sad ending because she was obsessed with, she's a tree character. She needed to go to space, man. She needed to go to space. She was like, the moon, right? And yeah, she's kind of delusional up on the moon. They're missing him, right? So her general storyline was really good, and I do like it that he dies, honestly, in this love story, because for a moment there in that episode, right, when they were kissing over the moon, I felt that he was gonna, but I was afraid that he was gonna, be fixed, right? His cyber was gonna be over. You know what I mean? He was gonna be her love for him would just like recover his mental state, and that would be really silly. Right? That would be really, really silly. Even though it kind of happened, honestly, for like a few minutes, and they got owned by the Adam guy. So it almost did kind of go that way. It honestly kind of went that way, but he lost the fight, so it didn't matter. Yeah, so I felt it kind of went both ways with that. In a way, her love actually did cure him, right? But he couldn't win the fight, so that's why he died. He didn't die necessarily because he went crazy. It's a little bit half cheesy, but still though, I prefer this sad ending for Lucy, being all devastated on the moon by herself, right? But still getting to the moon, her dream, right? So I like that. It was a good storyline. What I don't like with her storyline though is that it was never really explained what she was doing, you know? Like, I felt there was a lot of plot threads that was dropped, honestly, right? It feels similar to BNA. A lot of people love BNA, a lot of people agree with that BNA, also a good anime film to trigger, but in a similar way, it was like, this should probably have more episodes, yeah. BNA was 4 episodes, right? And it had a similar thing where you felt that there was a couple of plot lines that it wasn't really explored, they were kind of started, but it didn't go anywhere, and you wish that maybe it should have like 5-6 episodes more to really, like, you know, dwell on these storylines or something, or explain them better. Here it feels kind of similar where, like, she's doing this hacking, right, against Alcasa guys, but it's never really explained why. And I mean, obviously I know that she hates them because she experimented as a kid, right? So the general storyline is there, right? The general reason why she's doing it is definitely there. But just the more detailed reason of why is she going after this guy? Why is she killing this guy, right? Why she's out there hunting these people down, right? Like, why is she doing this stuff? So she got in trouble, right, with Alcasa because she was hunting them down, right? And then they hired, you know, Faraday and Kiwi trade and so on. All that Kiwi shit and find someone, that was because she was still working and hacking them, right? And that is never explained. It's straight up never explained what her goal was with that. And again, in the scene with her and David fighting, right? Where she was like, she go, David Coon! But she was doing that, you know, oh, I love you, but I can't tell you the truth, right? But she clearly still has some secrets for him. That was never explained either, like, what was those secrets? Except we kinda know that she was fighting the company, right? But I mean, what's the reason why? So that's another plot line where I feel that love fight they had there was never really, you know, continued, right? Yeah, it was a kind of like, okay, then she got kidnapped, then they kissed over the moon, and then he dies, right? So it was never really, like they kind of dropped that storyline too. So I feel they dropped a lot of storylines. That's a lot weird. Similar, I mean, Main, that was a good episode when he went crazy, right? And obviously it was a very foreshadowing for the main character in the same way. That was a good episode. But like with him, it kind of started giving us a backstory, him in Desert as a runner, but then he just didn't display it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it didn't display it. It was like, whatever, this guy has a backstory, kinda, whatever is that. Yeah, it never displayed it. And I think generally speaking, the anime is obviously, it looks fantastic, right? You see the trigger, the actions are amazing, it's a lot of, but it definitely fits a little bit of like, turn off your brain and just enjoy it, right? Because similar with Main and Kiwi and so on, they all have this like, these death scenes that are somewhat tragic, but you don't really get to know the characters. But Kiwi even less, right? You don't even really get to know them. You see Kiwi in her bloops all the time, right? But you don't really know her, you know, personality, her backstory. So you don't really feel that much when she dies, right? I think it was stupid she dies. But especially Kiwi, because her death was just stupid. She shouldn't have died, right? Yeah, her death is felt kind of forced just to make Lewis to be like the only survivor and a driver guy, Falco, but still mostly because Falco was a supportive side character, yeah. So I felt that was Kiwi dies because she was a traitor, she dies, yeah. But you know what I mean, and Dorio even more, you know, Dorio died to try to protect Main, right? And that was sad, but Dorio as a character was not explored at all. Dorio was just like, I love Main and not that, you know. It was like Dorio was there for like 6 episodes. And then Dorio died. It was kind of like that, yeah, like kissing Main in one episode, and then trying to save Main, and then Main went crazy. Yeah, it was like that character had no actual storyline. Instead, Rebecca also had no real storyline either, right? Rebecca's just a crazy girl. So yeah, from like an actual, you know, it really is a substance over matter, though. It really is right there. The anime is cray. It's a lot of explosions. It's very like bam, 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 and that works for trigger a lot, but. Basically, almost every character dies, right? Almost every character dies. Almost every character dies. It has a very like somber, sad episode. It has a very like that, but it certainly felt very trigger. How it's like it's really cool looking. A lot of crazy stuff happening. It fits the world of Cyberpunk, and on the same time, it's like, man, all these characters, like I don't care about any of them when they're dying. I only care about Rebecca because she was badass. But on the end of the day. I have no idea who Rebecca is. She's just a crazy gun girl. I have no idea what she's actually doing, right? So, yeah, it's a weird anime it has. I mean, it's an entertaining anime to watch. The whole is entertaining, right? you definitely, you know, you're always like, you're attentive to it, something's happening. It's very explosive, right? It's very, very, very substance over matter. It really is Trigger, honestly. I feel it's been Trigger's curse for the last years, how they have these crystal storylines, and it's just pang, pang, pang action, right? And most of the characters are kind of like dislikable, or you don't care about them. And they have a few, like zerotwo that you like, yeah. But I think that this anime, though, in that sense, even though the cyberpunk world works for this stuff, it definitely is less crazy than how it is, right? Yeah. I mean, this is probably the most sane anime I watched for Studio Trigger, right? This is the least over the top. This is the least over the top anime I've ever seen for Trigger. You know, and that says a lot, because this anime is over the top, right? But it's not Trigger over the top. Trigger is so much more over the top usually, right? And I think it honestly hurt the anime a little bit, right? Because they don't really dwell so much on the characterization or the personalities, right? They just kind of have pang pang action, here's some weird bloops, and then keep going, right? Because it is a very like shallow anime, if there's a good word for it. But I feel it's shallow anime, yeah, because it's quite a shallow anime. You know, Trigger's normal animes are way more crazy, right? And I feel them being shallow is a lesser issue because they're so crazy, right? The main story is so crazy and so on. That's probably one thing this anime does lack, though. It doesn't have a real, you know, main story, right, in that sense. I mean, it has David's life, right? But I mean, it doesn't have that over-grasping evil aliens or, you know, corporation trying to make everyone a list or whatever. There is no actual overarching, you know, main, that kind of lore or whatever you call it. Obviously, it's a main story of David and Lucy, but I mean, it doesn't have that, you know, compared to like Darling in the France, right? Yes, you have the love story with zerotwo and blah 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 and so on, right? But you also have this like alien evil government and so on, right? This anime doesn't have that. They have the corporations. I mean, I know the game is like that, so it makes sense from a gaming standpoint that it is like that. But it definitely still lacks that kind of over-grasping, you know, what is the true evil or something? Did someone pay to kill his mom or no? There was nothing of that, right? Shit kind of just happens with the main characters, and they go more and more crazy, right? But I think the problem is that Lucy's backstory started this. I think the problem is that Lucy's backstory did start a more, you know, world lore, where she's like, oh, she's just stuck in this prison or this facility. She was trained there as a kid. Now she's trying to get revenge on these people, right? Because they know something about the old net or whatever. So, and that's what I mean. I think that's probably what I say is the biggest lack. I like Lucy as a character, but yeah, they should have kept a little more in that old net or whatever, right? This secret super evil thing or whatever. Because it lacks that, like, you know, really like triggery ending where she has to fight some, like, yeah, honestly, Lucy should have fought an evil hacker girl, not Kiwi, the other one with the slick hair. Yeah, they should have fought inside the side space, right? They should have like a net running fight, something, right? It really feels like it lacks one episode where Lucy or whatever, you know, explains the more bigger, grander storyline of her, right? And then they're fighting the corporation inside the spy space or old net or whatever. It lacks something like that. Yeah, I think that's the issue. I feel it lacks that like super evil big thing, right? That I want. And again, Lucy starts that storyline, but it just doesn't go anywhere, right? Like it doesn't go anywhere. She goes to the moon and is sad, but it doesn't, like, she never explained to David why she was lying to him before she got kidnapped and so on. Yeah, so they dropped that. So they got a halfway did a storyline. So where they, yeah, it's basically like, again, her backstory is very similar to zerotwo, right? So it's kind of like we see zerotwo with the lab, but then before she's fighting, you know, her mom and the aliens or whatever, right? This anime is kind of like she starts fighting the mom and then it ends, yeah, and doesn't really explain the further story. That's kind of how it feels. So I feel negative, but I like the anime, right? But again, it's an anime that you like, but you honestly, I feel you kind of forget about it immediately because there is no matter of a story, right? The only story is that David's mom dies, he wants revenge, and then he joins his cyberpunk team, right? And he forgets about the mom basically, and then he meets this cute girl, and she has this secret, sad backstory that he never really learns, and then they just do stuff, and then in the end he gets somewhat revenge. Yeah. And then there was one episode 4, right, where they just had like a training montage, and in the end, of course, one of them died, and it was like sad. But the first like 15 or so minutes, that was definitely filler, right? Yeah, the first 15 minutes of episode 4, you can skip basically. They just have like, oh yeah, I mean, that was a fun episode, but it was in that sense, you know, they were like, oh yeah, I'm just like drinking with my pals or whatever. Yeah, that episode felt really pointed until the last moment where that guy went crazy and them. So it was foreshadowing the cyber course, right? But from an actual story aspect, it felt like, okay, why am I watching this episode for? Like the first yeah, at the beginning it doesn't really do much, right? So it's stuff like that where I don't know. I want to talk about this anime. I think it lacked that over the top action. Yeah, it should have been crazier probably. Honestly, then I would care less, you know. But now I felt there was once it was grounded. Yeah, it's like this anime is too grounded for being Trigger, and at the same time the characters are too shallow, which is typical Trigger. Honestly, yeah, Trigger has a lot of shallow characters, right? Because usually it's just a crazy action show when you don't really care about supportive character 3 that gets killed or whatever. And that's true with anime as well, right? But then it needs to kind of keep you with the action, right? But I think that, again, yeah, it's a combination of crazy over the top, crazy action, and lastly, some kind of weird, you know, Matrix storyline. You need that. I feel Trigger needs that, honestly. I know people make fun of them because it's always like go to space, crazy aliens. But yeah, this anime had, yeah, again, it started with Lucy, but then it ended without giving me that, like, what is the old net? What is the Lucy conclusion? I mean, except going to the moon and being sad, but what happened with her attacking the corporation and trying to get back there or something? What happened with that shit, right? You dropped that after he died? You just forgot about it? She was doing it before she met him, right? And Kiwi seemingly knowing about it and never addressed it either. So it was weird. It was weird, man. I'm just like, okay, whatever. That's it, guys. That's a full review. What do you guys do? Agree? Comment below. So subscribe to on. Made and Abyss later tonight. I have to go to conference before that, so Made and Abyss review is coming out maybe like 4 or 5 hours later than usual. Bye bye, please subscribe on and have a great day.